Welcome back to Dream of Mirror Online. Last time we tried out being a thief and I had very little success with Pilfer. And I came to Copperhorn and we finally got to see Copperhorn Mountain and Darkdale. However, I will say, I actually had, while doing some of the extra quests for the assault mission, because that's very boring, he doesn't give you any text, he literally just hands you a note and says, kill these monsters. So I just did some of that off screen, and I got to level 19. I had strong luck in Fighting Chance and super luck in Provider's Providence, and in about, I'd say, 40 minutes, I managed to steal 3 recipes. And I was doing other stuff. I went and got tea, I talked with my friend on Discord, so I think that maybe Fighting Chance really does increase your chance of getting a recipe. So you can see now I got pretty much most of the recipes I need from the monsters in Copperhorn. I now have the Burning Spear, which is the level 20 spear for the mercenary. And you need that as a mercenary to cast formations for your team. So if you are doing team fights, if you can find a team nowadays, then that's really useful. And let's see, unfortunately those formations don't work without multiple people, so you can't use them on yourself as a self buff. I also got the recipe for the Fragrant Wood Abacus, which is for the merchant. Oh, it actually increases your Provider's Providence. That's potentially good if you're going to be crafting stuff. And I already got the Feather Fan, and I did get the Harp, which is the level 20 musician weapon, so that's actually pretty cool. I did get to steal some recipes and that worked out nicely, so I'm going to have to experiment more when I have good luck in those stats. Right now they're very poor, sleight is not great, but when I have strong or super luck I can experiment again and see how that goes. I did get Blade Master to level 19, and as I told you, I'm saving up points for Equip Light Armor. Hopefully I will remember soon to put together a visual of all the different armors and their stats at level 50, but for now I did not remember to do that, so I can talk about armor another time and why I think light armor is one of the best armors. I'm ready to talk to the Darkdale Destroyer and turn in the first quest from him. Here we are. Report mission status. Your deeds were outstanding. I knew I could count on you. And we get a blue pick dice chest, we get some experience, and he does give me another mission. Here's his list now so that he keeps track of what I've done. And let's open that chest. I get some MP powder. Okay, MP is really not an issue with Blade Master, you just don't use it enough to justify it. But let's get the next mission from him. Let's see, what does he want now? Maiming moths. Oh, I just did that for the assault quest. Oh. There is a species called toxic tiger moths at Copperhorn Mountain that usually gather by the waterside. The toxic tiger moths are able to secrete a strange substance. The substance causes temporary paralysis to those exposed to it. Are you willing to help the people of Darkdale by collecting some of the paralyzing powder? Sure. And I'm going to see what his next mission is as well. Beat the bandits. A group of bandits have occupied Grizzly Garrison on Copperhorn Mountain. They are gradually growing stronger and have been robbing traveling merchants in the area. We need to employ some countermeasures to stop their numbers from growing unchecked. Apart from the natural mines in Darkdale, we still need other materials to craft armor and weapons. We are in dire need of helpful people like you. What does he want? He does not want you to fight the bandits because they're really strong. He wants the materials for making an armor. Okay, and we also need the paralyzing powder from the toxic tiger moths. I'm going to see if this tells me that, or if I have to look it up. That would be very annoying. And I have to do I already did that one, I feel so silly. But oh well, I was also stealing a recipe from the toxic tiger moth, so there was that. Right, let's take a look. Here it is, beat the bandits. He wants you to get 20 straw rope from purple whipping grass and 20 spiky shell from giant hedgehog. Interesting. The giant hedgehog is level 20, so I could fight it now actually. But the purple whipping grass is now kind of low level for me. I'm very tempted to go back and do that as a different job and get experience for that one, because it's kind of wasteful to do it as Blade Master now at level 19. I won't get any benefit. Okay, and what's the last mission? I might as well just pick it up. Monster Extermination Mission. 2 powerful monsters have recently appeared at Copperhorn Mountain, the giant butterfly and the sandstone ladybug. These 2 monstrosities have recruited a number of minions and nested in Copperhorn Mountain. These monsters must be exterminated. We can't afford to turn a blind eye to this problem. Would you be willing to help us get rid of them? I'll take the mission, but I'm not strong enough to fight them yet. In fact, I'm probably going to prefer to do that as Fencer because I have evasion as a Fencer. But I will pick the mission up just so it's done and I don't have to come back here too soon. And now I need to turn in the assault mission, and that'll probably also be hedgehogs. I feel so silly actually now that I did that at the wrong time, that I didn't double this up with the paralyzing powder mission, but oh well. And now I wanted to say that there's one item which you should not sell when you're in Copperhorn Mountain. You should keep the dried lizard. There are, I think, about 3. There are 2 main quests in the story where you need it, and there's a third, the holiday event, the Christmas event with Santa Claus in Eversun City. He also, in that quest, you will need the dried lizard. Dried lizard can be refined with 20 of them into dino sauce, which I did show in the first Christmas special episode. I might have to see if there are any other events I could do for another special episode, but for the time being, let's just say for that, we need the dino sauce, and you also need the dino sauce for a man in Copperhorn Mountain. If you give it to him, he will give you a commoner's spring in return. That will give you 1 extra skill point as a commoner. The springs which you get from the live quests give you 5 skill points, so that's obviously much better, but any amount of extra skill points is always appreciated. And the Darkdale Village Elder also gives you a quest which requires 20 dried lizards. What he will do is he'll say that, I think you have to be level 30 to do it. He will say that there's Malachite Cavern, which has a great demon in it, and all of that, and you say you want to get access to it. He says that if you can prove yourself, then he'll give you access. You need to go in within a time limit of about 20 minutes, I think it is. You need to go into Copperhorn and get 20 dried lizards. Obviously, drop rates are variable, and I found that it is not the highest drop rate among the items in Copperhorn. I had 20 cloth from the tiger moths, I had more snake skins than dried lizards, so I would recommend saving them up. If you have dried lizards in your inventory when you try to do this quest, he'll say you're cheating and he'll take them away from you. But you can keep them in the bank. And then, once you've got the quest from him, just go to the bank, withdraw the dried lizards you need, and give them to him, and he won't know the difference. So it's definitely worth saving up your dried lizards instead of selling them, because otherwise when you do these quests, you're going to find that you really, really need dried lizards, and it's going to be very tedious to go grind them then. So while you're fighting in Copperhorn and training and doing quests anyway, that's the time to do it. But at this point, and this is a quest we can't do yet, it's not a very important quest, but you need to go to Collington for it. So that's something we can worry about another time. It looks like someone might actually have put up a stall here. That's very interesting. I normally don't see stalls in the other cities besides Eversun. Well, anyway, I'm just going to change my abilities back since I'm not doing the Pilfer anymore. I'm going to change back to the Fencer abilities, and then I'm going to go also turn in the quest for the Eversun, the Copperhorn Assault, and get the next one, and then we will do some more monster fighting, and I'll show off some of the monsters in the area and talk about them. But for now, I've got to do that, and you don't need to see every little bit of my maintenance stuff. Okay, here we are. I need to talk to the assault officer, and I still feel silly about not doubling up on the Toxic Tiger Moth quest, but oh well, it's fine. So now, what does he want me to do next? Let's see. Lizard Leader and Giant Hedgehog. So I should have picked up all of these because some of them do double up. Lesson learned. Double up on all of these. Okay, I should have just picked up every single one. It would have crimped my inventory a bit, but it would have been fine. Because now I need to beat up a bunch of extra monsters. Alright, I'm not quite ready for the Lizard Leader and Giant Hedgehog, I feel. And I can always just switch to another job again if I do get too over leveled for it. It's not a big deal. So, the Lizard Leaders are the level 19 lizards. They are fire element, and I believe they're either a fencer or a dancer. I can't remember. Most of the lizards are fencers, though. And the one issue with them is that if you start fighting another lizard in its line of sight, all of the other lizards will start attacking you if they see you do that. So you do have to be prepared for aggro, and it can be a bit tricky to deal with it in a more squishy job. That's really... wow, that's a huge rock formation up there. Well, anyway, so that is something you have to keep in mind when dealing with the lizard leaders. And the toxic tiger moths are a problem because they have extremely high evasion, and they also have paralyzing powder, which prevents you from using magic attacks. Although fortunately it doesn't entirely freeze you. You can still use normal attacks, so there's that. But they can be a bit of a pain to fight. In fact, I believe I did put more points into dexterity because I was finding I was missing all the time. In general, I was having issues with that because Blade Master does not have the best accuracy, but in particular, I was struggling against the Toxic Tiger Moths. So there we are. That's pretty much the last of the enemies in the area. The hedgehogs are level 20 and they are earth. So they're not too difficult if you have any wood spells or if you have a weapon which is wood element. Otherwise, it's a little bit of a pain at first until you're the right level. But I'm going to actually show you fighting the toxic tiger moths. They're not that bad, but as a blade master with poor accuracy, it is a little bit of an issue. And as I've said, I have never had any issues. They're 18 and they have no element, so that's one thing. Now you can see I'm hitting more, but that's because I have put points into dexterity, and that is really helping to compensate for these the dowels' low accuracy. And in fact, that's why I sort of say the ability which increases your accuracy, if you do want to save skill points, is not that important. So it's this one over here, one of these moderate arts, focus. I personally don't think focus is that important. Hunter has an ability which will increase your accuracy, and you can also put more points into dexterity to make up for it if you are finding that frustrating. So it's kind of the least important ability, I would personally argue. But anyway, putting points into dexterity helped a lot. And I should be able to get Blade Master now up to level 20 something, 21. We'll see how long these fights take. I'm not ready to do the bosses in the area. I might want to switch to Fencer, which is a bit more nimble and will be able to do more against them and take advantage of elemental attacks. So we'll see. Maybe in time for the toxic type, for the hedgehogs, I will want to switch to that, because then I'll be able to do a lot more damage to them. But the toxic tiger moths are no big deal as long as you do have put some points into dexterity. As you can see, on this other side of the water are the giant hedgehogs and the lizard leaders. I feel like someone might have been there fighting them. That one has low HP. Well, anyway, I do know there's a recipe pot here and I need to go get it. I think it should be further up here by the edge of the water. I am about to hit level 20 as Blade Master, and since we've already talked to the Chasm King about life quests before, I have something to show you as soon as we do in fact hit level 20. So I don't know, where's a good camera angle for this? He's going to show up very soon, and it's very important that I show this off. Also, it's loopy. Oh, no, not another lizard. Well, and another, I told you, they really aggro. Come Lin, I want to talk to you about Come Lin, I want to talk to you about the life missions of different jobs. Okay, we need that dried lizard. We need it for quests, sir. Okay, I'm still being beaten up by a whole bunch of lizards, sir. So I actually do have a reason for ignoring you. I promise. I kind of can't just ignore them or they'll kill me. Well, okay, they're not hitting that hard. Alright, we don't have any skills yet. Alright, I finally got rid of that mob. He's just kind of waiting around. He's still waiting. He's still waiting and I'm just beating up Hedgehog. Why are you all ignoring me? And he's rubbing his face with his sleeve. Sir, are you crying? Okay, I don't really want to fight the lizards. And he will keep spinning around and staring at you and waiting for you. Seriously, he does not want to let this go. He absolutely wants you to listen to him every single time. Like, you've already told me about life quests. If no one takes notice of me, I'll leave. Come, Lin, please don't act as if I'm not here. So yeah, he actually, look, he's wiping his face again. I think he's crying. I think he might be crying. Seriously, he's lonely. He just comes here to tell us about life quests over and over and over again because he's lonely and he can't think of any other reason to talk to someone. That's actually a little bit sad. So I did want to show you that. The Chasm King is very needy. He will chase you around and he will complain and he'll say, don't act as if I'm not here. Why are you all ignoring me? Please. I want attention. Alright, I know all of this, so there's not much point in actually reading it, but I'll pretend that I'm listening. If I want to pretend I'm listening, I should actually look at him. There we are. Yes, I know. The life missions are good, thank you. I love it. Like, they actually thought of that. They thought players are not going to be listening to him every single time once they've already done it. And then they were like, no, we can't just have him not show up. He's lonely. He wants you to pay attention to him. And he really does. He can't think of any other reason to get someone to talk to him. He's like, haha, we can talk shop. That'll work. So I'm already pretty close to the points I need for the equip light armor, but that's level 30. At this stage, I could put more points into Lash Out. Let's see, it won't change your attack speed, I think. It'll still just increase it by 4. It does last slightly longer, which is nice, and the defense trade-off is now slightly less. So that's actually really good, although the casting interval is also a little higher. And with Burning Rage, we're not ready to level that one up yet, but it will increase your attack by more, and in this case, the HP cost does get higher. So it's not always a full advantage. It depends. Now I need to see which one of these I want to put more points into. That will lower the target's defense. I think that's going to be a good one. In fact, that is the one I pretty much use the most often. Even though I need to save up points, I also need to be able to fight. And let's see, Fierce Bark reduces the enemy's attack speed. And Growling Tiger makes them all loopy. Menacing Moo is very good. It does a lot of damage, so I'm going to level it up one more time for now. And I'm saving up points, so that's fine for now. We need to put on another regeneration, although at level 20, none of these are going to be a terrible threat. Still would rather just account for that. Oh, lovely. But now I've put more points into that, so I should be fine. You can see I actually can take these hits now. I mean, I don't have any way to actually area of effect them, which is a little awkward, but I can actually fight them and take hits from multiple enemies at once. So yeah, a high agility build is really good if you're doing solo. And I mean, Blade Master is not the most defensive or the most agile job, but it still makes a huge difference. It's worth it. So I didn't level up Lash Out. Wait, did I level up Lash Out? No, I just leveled up 2 attacks. I thought for now that was good enough. You still get really good attack speed for doing level 1 Lash Out, so I feel like it's not necessary yet. Although getting the defense to be a lower penalty would be good, because that does hurt. However, it's missing a decent amount of the time. I wouldn't want to be using Lash Out and fighting a mob, but one-on-one it's not a big deal. Maybe I'll just skill spam on this one so that I don't have to worry about the mob then. Okay, so we're doing pretty well as Blade Master. I might want to switch back to Fencer sometime, although Fencer is level 23. I think we're not going to get much benefit from fighting these monsters at level 23, so actually I'm going to stay Blade Master. When I need to go back and fight the Purple Whipping Grass, which I totally forgot about that quest, then I will probably switch to something else like Thief or Shaman. I'm not sure yet, because they do need the experience. Alright, Lash Out wore off. I could put on Burning Rage though, so that I do more damage. As said, I like to stagger these so that I'm never without one of them, as long as I remember to actually cast them. And this is a stage of grinding which I quite like. I still need to pay attention and focus. If I just completely blanket and I look away from the screen and stuff like that, I could wind up in trouble, especially when fighting the lizard leaders, but it's not so difficult that I'm constantly nail biting and worrying about dying. I find that it's a really nice balance where I just have to focus a little bit and put in some effort, but it's not an insurmountable challenge or anything like that. It's not too hard. It's quite relaxing, except for the moments when I get a mob on me. And in that case, it's maybe less relaxing. But I'm getting a lot of really good item drops, so I will definitely make a nice chunk of money from this, which is good because I think I need to buy some more recipes soon. There is a merchant in Copperhorn and another one in Darkdale who sell recipes, and I didn't have the money before for it, but you can see now I could afford to buy a few recipes if I really need to. And we need another Razzle Dazzle because it's definitely helping with my evasion. It's a really good self-buff. If you're doing a hand-to-hand fighting like this, or sword-to-hand, whatever, if you're doing close-up fighting like this, Razzle Dazzle is a really good self-buff. it's not so good. It's not good if you're doing mobs or if you're fighting from a distance and you're not hitting them by hand, like with magic user. Then obviously it's completely useless, and I do need first aid now. I actually did wind up making a stack of the vitamin B pills, but they're not that useful. One thing that's good though is that first aid and the pills have different cooldowns, so you could, if you really needed extra healing, use both. Although first aid has a much faster cooldown than the medicine, so it's still better. It's just better. It's just better to sub in Doctor, honestly. Unless you really have a bunch of other sub moves you really need, then you could use healing items instead, I suppose. But by and large, it's definitely better, especially early in the game when you probably can't craft any good medicine and you can't buy much because you're poor. I'm still a little unimpressed by how long it takes to get good recipes for medicine. Even at this stage, 150 HP is just not that much. You can see it's barely put a dent in. And if I needed to heal desperately, healing 150 HP would not really help me very much. You're better off leveling up first aid some more, quite frankly. The only reason I haven't done that is because I don't have a lot of good magic skills to use to help me level up Doctor. I may level up Doctor a lot more when I have some other job which will be useful with it. I've had some luck doing Doctor and Witch Doctor in conjunction. Witch Doctor is kind of an unusual job. It's more about poisoning your enemy, but you're also a mixed attacker. You do have a physical attack stat that's very high. But the poisoning skills, when combined with, say, the Shaman's Heavy Frost, that can be really useful for a Doctor. They can just stand by at a distance and barely ever even get near the enemy and kill it from a distance. So those are really useful skills to combine as a Doctor, the Shaman skills and the Witch Doctor skills. So I'm going to be experimenting with that later on to level up Doctor. But for now, well, I'm focusing on Blade Master and Fencer. Okay, I should have finished the Assault mission by now. Let's take a look here. Also, now that I'm level 20, he's telling me Placid Plain asks for reinforcement. I may be doing Placid Plain in the next episode, or at least starting it. It's quite a big area. But for now, we can finally turn in the Copperhorn Mountain Assault. And as said, unless I am wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, someone please correct me. I don't know that the campaign orders wound up actually being useful. I feel like they maybe never got implemented. If I'm wrong, then please correct me. I did look it up on the wiki and they say it's not useful. I'm not sure if that's true. And at this point, the only thing I think I need to do is finish up collecting the materials for armor, which are from the Purple Whipping Grass. And then, of course, I have to beat the area bosses. I'm not able to beat the area bosses as a Blade Master, or at least I personally think it might be a bit dicey. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'd rather be a couple of levels above them because area bosses tend to be fairly tough. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them are like level 25. They're going to be higher level than the regular enemies, so I think 25 sounds about right. So I don't really trust myself to be able to beat them. At this point, I'm going to take care of the Purple Whipping Grasses, and I'll be doing that as either Shaman or Thief. I don't think I'm going to get much benefit as Blade Master now by fighting them. Maybe it would go faster, but I feel like I'd rather do it with a job that will benefit from that experience. So I need to fly back to Darkdale. I'm just curious if I'll run into an area boss and I can check its level. They are just a little bit further down on the main pathway. They're pretty much always on the main path, so if you want to avoid the area bosses, go to the sides. If you hug the canyon walls, then you won't have to find the area bosses. They don't walk around there. They stay quite closely to the path. And even if someone else fought them and wound up getting in trouble and running away from it and lured it outside of its normal spawning point, the bosses will actually walk back to it. So let's say the boss was right here, and I fought it for a while, and it beat me up, and so I had to run away from it, and it chased me all the way over there. Well, once it's lost sight of me and I have run away from it, it will just start wandering back here because this is where it's supposed to be. Not literally right here, but you get the idea. So there we are. This is... Oh, it's only level 23. Huh. I wonder if I could take it. I might give that a try. I wanted to do it as Fencer, but I could at least give it a try. And if I still can't do it, I can always run. But let's give it a look-see. If I skill spam, I wonder if I could take it. It's not that bad. I'm level 21 now. Alright, so we have lower its defense, then lower its attack, then lower its attack speed, and with Lash Out, I should be able to hit it really fast. And yeah, I'm doing absolutely fine. So I had forgotten just what level these were at. That's no big deal at all. I think the sandstone ladybug might be higher though, but yeah, look at this, it's barely hurting me. Of course I have Razzle Dazzle on, so that is lowering its accuracy, but still. Okay, maybe I could finish this part up too and just do the purple whipping grass as shaman. So we do get onyxes from area bosses. This adds 10 wood attack to your weapon, and it's the slot number 1, and it's level 15 to 25, so that could potentially be useful if you're fighting a lot of earth enemies, or if you have a weapon which is already wood stacked, then I think enhancing that even further is very useful. But at the moment I can't really get a lot out of it. And the dance will lower your attack power, but I'm a blade master, so that didn't matter at all. Now the sandstone ladybug should be further south, and now you can see there's another butterfly. And even though I can take them, there's no need to kill all of them. Although I really could. Ooh, I'm so tempted. I mean, is there any reason not to? I can take it. And I mean, the server is really quiet now, so it's not like I'm going to be stealing the boss from someone else who needs it at the moment. I haven't seen any other users in Copperhorn at the moment, so it's no big deal. If I skill spam, I should be able to kill it. Blade Master is just so strong. I just need a couple of extra hits, and it barely hit me. And there we are. I get, this time, a Dreamstone, itching powder, flying poo-poo coupon, so just some money. But yeah, actually, I can take these just fine. Cool, I thought I might have to change jobs, but I think that at this stage, I'm probably going to... Here's the sandstone ladybug. Okay, that one says come and get me. It is level 25, and I do think that's going to be a bit dicey for level 21 Blade Master. I will do that as shaman later. Okay, but we did manage to beat the butterfly twice as Blade Master, so that's nice. At this point, I'm going to sell my stuff, turn in the missions which I can, and also change to shaman, and I'll come back and do the purple whipping grass in a bit, and then I'll have to switch back to switch to fencer to do the sandstone ladybug. It's no big deal because I have the power of auto fly. I can just fly all the way to Darkdale without having to touch anything now that I've told my character to do so. I really like the auto fly feature, although you can sometimes land in some very odd places, and I will have to show you at some point. But for now, let's enjoy the beautiful scenery. It looks like it's cloudy right now and a little bit grey. Might rain soon. Let's just get that out of the way so that you can see the scenery better. The clouds are absolutely gorgeous in this game. I love the swirling effect. But there we are, we landed already. And at this point, I will just head into Darkdale and do the things I need to do. And I'll probably meet you by the Darkdale Destroyer. I want to see what rewards he'll give me for those quests. But first I'll change jobs and stuff. Okay. Okay, time to turn in some quests to the Darkdale Destroyer. I also looked at my jobs and I thought that actually Thief at level 17, but without very good gear, might still benefit a bit from fighting the purple whipping grass. So I switched back to that one. And we'll just see how this goes. Let's see, I can turn in the monster extermination mission, I think. You are the future hero of Darkdale. We're counting on you. Did I not finish that one? I thought I'd finished something. Oh, no, I thought there was something I needed to turn in. Huh, I haven't finished any of these. Well, that's awkward. Because this combines with the monster extermination mission. Interesting. Well, I could still fight these as the thief because I have pretty good accuracy. So honestly, that'll work. The only thing I can't do is the final area boss. But that's fine. And here you can see something which some of the mods, GMs, whatever, do as a little event sometimes. They'll give you little questions about the game. There was one which I was too busy to do, which I could have answered. Whoops, because I think you do get gifts for it. Oh well, there are a lot of little events run by the GMs, and I have not done any of them. I probably should at some point. But for now, I need to go find the purple whipping grass, and we'll see if I can handle this with my level 10 gear. I really should have gone and got some more stuff, but I did not really feel like flying all the way back to Eversun because I need vine ropes, and they're not dropped by monsters in Copperhorn in order to do any sort of upgrades. So let's just find the purple whipping grass. There are more of them up north. In fact, let's just fly up north to that area again. Over here is where you will find a lot of toxic tiger moths, and big purple whipping grass, so that's a really good spot to go. And oh, the sky is so beautiful in this game. I love just flying and seeing it just move and all of the scenery shift over time as I fly. Look at those clouds now, it's already changed, and now it's this beautiful blue sky, but a deep blue. It's probably dusk, and the clouds are just lovely. And you can see some stars, and the mountains are purple in the background. I love it. Let's just get rid of some of this so we can appreciate it better. Can't do anything about the chat box though. I don't believe that one is movable. In the process of finishing up this mission, I got Thief to level 18 and we're also now halfway to level 19. I can't do any more as Thief though because the last quest we have to do is the area boss, the Sandstone Ladybug, and it's level, level 25? I might be able to do it as Fencer, but definitely not as Thief. Alright, here we are, time to turn in a few more of these. Report mission status for the moths. Your deeds were outstanding. I knew I could count on you. We get a few more rewards. Figured I might as well get that experience for the Thief because I don't know how much that experience would really add up to if I tried to get it as Fencer. We get some glass, so that's useful from the box. And here we are. One more to turn in for now. You've done extremely well. We're very grateful to you. And we get a few more rewards. We're nearly at 60% experience now, so that's nice. We have another dice chest, which just gives us, oh, we got another glass. That's actually quite nice because I do need glass a lot. So at this stage, I need to change over to Fencer and go to find the Sandstone Ladybug. And I'm also going to find all of the other recipe pots in Copperhorn Mountain, as well as doing that. So that will basically be the end of the episode, is finishing this quest. And then we're basically done with Copperhorn for the time being. I'll definitely come back here in future, but that's what I really wanted to do here for now. In future, we can always come back and do other quests, but for now, that's about what I want to do, and I'd like to move on to Placid Plain for the next episode. Okay, as you can see, the Sandstone Ladybug is just up ahead, and it turns out that I actually am at level 24 as a Fencer. I had forgotten that I reached level 24, so this is the perfect time to do that. I believe I have subbed in the shaman abilities, so I can now just freeze it and, oh wait, I'm gonna also buff myself quickly. I should have no problem at all taking care of it as a Fencer. So we're going to be shaman now, and we need to do Summer Sun, and the freeze didn't work. It is Earth, so let's cycle through the other abilities first. What's going on? That makes no sense. Why do you think I'm too far away? And we'll keep going with the wood, and that will do well against it. So these buffs are actually making a difference to myself, I believe. This is actually not hard, although I have put a lot of points into agility, so that probably helps. I'm going to reduce its magic defense again. Wow, that was actually quite easy. I was a little overly cautious. I think that when I first started playing again as Mian Mian, I really got overexcited and went to certain areas when I shouldn't, and I often got into trouble with bosses. But now I'm much more prepared, and I'm finding them quite easy a lot of the time. So let's see. Okay, that's where the foot soldiers' wrist guards are. They're up here in this area, and I don't believe I have got those yet. So I will go get that. And while we walk, let us look at what the next Onyx is. We got another Onyx of Calligraphy, 15 to 25, slot 1, weapon, adds fire attack. that can actually be useful because as a shaman or a Taoist, because some of their wands are fire. So then you could just add more fire attack to it. And for Taoist in particular, it has very few elemental attacks. Most of them are non-elemental, but you do have quite a few scrolls which do fire damage. So then you'll be enhancing your fire damage even more. So yeah, that's a good one to keep for that job. I think that honestly only in the 20s is it worth getting some of these abilities. And here's another guy. I'm just going to avoid that butterfly because even though I like fighting them, there's no need. I don't need these onyxes desperately. Or do I want it? Because if I don't like the onyx that I get, I can always just trade it with the onyx trader in Eversun. You know what, why not? This is non-elemental, so it doesn't really matter what I do. So we're just going to sort of skill spam here, and I'll end on Boundless Falling Leaves because it does freeze the enemy for a few seconds if it works. Doesn't seem like it worked this time, but it's fine. Yeah, you can see that Fencer is actually pretty good. I definitely needed to work on my stats, and I still need to work on my stats more. I'm planning on putting a lot of points into my agility and my NP, my wisdom, so we're going to see how that goes, but I can take care of these area bosses no problem. Okay, I am coming back because this is interesting. I can actually see the recipe pot from over here. This whole area is much higher up than the other area where you are walking before, so you can only get to it from one spot, which I believe is up here from the Swan Lake Basin entrance. And so I'm just going to walk over there and see when I can find that. I do already have that pot, I believe. I bought the recipe from a merchant instead. Some recipe pots can be found in multiple locations, but since I saw it on the map, I just want to find where you get to it from here. I think it's this little ledge. Oh, very pretty up here. We might as well just click on it, and I already have that recipe because I bought it. So as you can see, this area is a little unusual. It's very high up in the mountains, and you cannot fly to it. You can fly to it, but if you fly to it, you won't be able to land anywhere. Now, Grizzly Garrison does have a portal which you can fly through to get into Grizzly Garrison without doing this walk, but since I want to get the recipe pots, I need to be able to actually walk successfully to it. You can't click on items like that while you're flying. It just won't work. So, unfortunately, this one time I do need to walk. I can get most of the level 25 light armor set here, except for the top and the bottom, which are sold by a merchant in Giantwood Forest. So that's not so bad. I'm fairly close to being able to unlock that area. And I think that my current set of armor will serve me just fine in Placid Plain until then. So you can see there's some very narrow mountain passes. It's quite attractive. I do really love how this game looks. As I always say, I think that for the time period this game was made in, it looks incredible. So we need to go up here. I believe I've mentioned that the Longstone Woods is a much higher level dungeon, and you also don't have access to it at this point. You have to finish the quests in Grizzly Garrison, which one of the NPCs gives you, and then you'll get access to Longstone Woods. So at the moment, there's really no point being even going there. Unless you just really want to see the entrance you can't walk through, I suppose. I know I do often just show stuff like walking through the map, but one of my purposes, probably my main purpose in making this Let's Play, is to sort of create a record of this game, at least in the English language internet, which can sort of preserve it in some way if it does go offline again and no one else brings it back online. Because it's an MMO, it's server-based, so even though the game files are there that you download, you can't actually do anything if you don't have an internet connection. It's a shame. I do wonder if it would be possible for someone, if they cared enough, to take game files from an old MMO and make it work single player, or is that impossible? Is there too much information generated by the online servers? I do not know enough about that, and I think that would be a really interesting question. Is it possible to preserve a server-based game without putting servers back online? I don't know, because I played this single player. I enjoy it a lot single player. I think it's really fun. In fact, there are actually a lot of quests in the Mirror World Job Guide which are plot-based, and you see I've only done a few of these. Some of these are, of course, plot-based. Chasm Trial, here's Eversun City Alchemy Mission. So there are a lot of different missions, and Master Exorcist, Treasure of the Subway, Legend of the Farrell Family Crypt, Copperhorn Mounters Trader Association. Copperhorn Mount or Mysterious Elder, there are a lot of quests, and some of them do have little plots. There's so much. So there are a lot of quests you can do. For instance, let's look at Swan Lake Basin Legend of the Farrell Family Crypt. I think I looked at this before. Legend has it that when the Farrells were buried, a poor group of servant girls were buried alive with them. They died and became resentful ghosts haunting the grounds, looking for spirits but suffered unjust deaths to keep them company. Kiki's childhood friend, Anthony, went missing mysteriously, and she is worried that he might be possessed by these ghosts and wants someone to help. I'm not going to accept that now. A lot of these little side quests do have time limits on them, so you need to be prepared to actually do them while you're logged in. Unlike some of these other missions like the assault missions and things like that, you can't always log in and log out and do them over a period of time. So this was why I definitely wanted to be Fencer when I came up here. There is another butterfly, but I have been having no trouble fighting these, and I'm actually finding it bizarrely kind of fun. So here we are. Let us kick its butt and get another onyx to trade. Well, this time I don't have the regeneration on, but I don't think I need it. It's not doing a lot of damage, and at the same time I also do have good evasion, so it's not hitting me all the time. So yeah, this is working out very nicely. Oh, one thing. I actually have super luck in fighting chance right now, so after this episode is over, I'm done recording it, I am going to go to Eversun as a thief, and I'm going to try to steal a recipe. The steel saber that I have here, the recipe can be stolen from the wild flying poo-poo in Eversun North and Eversun South. I obviously can't do that. I feel like I wouldn't actually be able to steal from them successfully as a fencer because I would one-shot them, so I definitely have to do that, have to change jobs for that. I think a thief might still be able to, especially if I don't have my dagger on. Okay, so the recipe pots should both be in Grizzly Garrison, I believe. I'm just gonna check here just in case. I don't want to make a mistake and then have to walk all the way back. Okay, it looks like it's in Grizzly Garrison. Hopefully I can still get in. I think there is a bandit who's keeping guard, but he doesn't really care. This is just sort of like the empty place. The actual garrison itself is a dungeon. So yeah, he's just sleeping and he just completely ignores you. No problem. So now I need to find those pots. And the empty part of the garrison isn't all that exciting, so I won't necessarily spend a lot of time exploring it. I just want the pots. So where are they? Well, if we look at the map, they should be around about here, I believe. So I'm in the right spot to find them. I just need to find them. Now you actually saw the glowing portal there. That will lead inside the actual base of the bandits, and they hit really hard, so be wary of that. It's a bit of a maze here, just a little one. So let's see if I can find my way around. Well, it's time to turn in the final mission to the Darkdale Destroyer. Here we are, Monster Extermination Mission. You did an awesome job. You did a great job. I have an extra reward for you. So here we can get the level 25 hat for any of these jobs, and I've decided to take the rain hat. The recipe for it is quite a bit later on. It's in Grass Green Square, which is like the early 30s. So that's going to take me a while to get, and meanwhile magic users really benefit from having the magic hat because it does increase their max MP by a lot. I believe that as with others, you can redo some of these quests, but you can't get the item again. And you can see the rain hat is the adorable fox hat. I'm very excited to wear that one later. And we got a dried mushroom, which I don't really need, and I got another onyx. Honestly, none of these are incredible. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them or if I'm just going to turn them into the onyx trader in Eversun City. So, as promised, what I'm going to do now is head back to Eversun off screen and test out if my super luck in fighting chance increases my odds of getting a successful pilfer. I will report back at the beginning of next episode when we will be heading to Placid Plain finally. It's really fun to start getting to more locations and seeing the world open up a bit. There are still so many other quests in the low level areas we can do, and so many other jobs which we need to unlock in the low levels, but it is really nice to feel like I'm making this type of progress. And oh, a lot of people are doing quests for the Darkdale Elder here. Unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of those quests, but it's fine. One thing I did want to quickly look at before we finished up was I swear I saw some people with some stalls. They seem to have vanished. It was really interesting to see some stalls which were in one of the other cities, but yeah, they're not here at the moment, I guess. Oh well. So here we are. We are ready to move on to a new area next episode. Very exciting, but I have had a great time in Copperhorn Mountain and Darkdale, and we will be returning again to do more quests in the future. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!